coming up on the October 29th edition of Carolina Week.
Trick or treat, it's time to get ready on Franklin Street. Students are getting ready for Halloween and the town is taking precautions.
And Chapel Hill goes to the polls on Tuesday. We'll tell you where to vote and where the candidates stand on the issues. All this and more.
Carolina Week starts now.
From the School of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, this is Carolina Week.
Good evening, I'm Andrea McAfee.
And I'm Courtney Robinson. Thanks for joining us. Halloween is Friday. Students and town officials are getting ready for the big night. Halloween draws thousands to Franklin Street every year, and police expect Friday night celebration to be bigger than ever. Carolina Week's Jenny McClendon joins us with safety information for anyone planning to be part of the crowd. Jenny?
Courtney, we might see a record number of people on Franklin Street Friday night. Police expect 75,000 people to come out and celebrate. To keep downtown safe, they'll have more than 300 officers patrolling the area and enforcing parking and safety guidelines. Starting at 9 p.m., police will shut down Franklin Street from Raleigh to Millette, Columbia from Rosemary to Cameron Avenue, and Raleigh from East Franklin to Cameron Avenue. So, where do you park? Not on Franklin Street or on any streets near downtown. Park there and you'll be trick-or-treated to a $100 ticket. Instead, the town and university will offer shuttles. The P2P Express will run as usual for people on campus. You can also park at the Jones Ferry Road lot in Carborough, the Southern Village lot, the Friday Town Center lot, and at the University Mall. Chapel Hill Transit will pick you up there and take you to and from Franklin for $5. And just a reminder, once you get to the festivities, there are certain things you can't bring along. Those include alcohol, weapons, glass bottles, paint, fireworks, animals, and coolers. Courtney?
Jenny, will there be any parking available on campus?
Courtney, a few lots will be open on a first-come, first-served basis. You can find a list of those on our website at carolinaweek.org. But police say the best plan is to park off campus and take a shuttle.
Thanks, Jenny.
If you've put off your pumpkin shopping, you better get out and get your Halloween pumpkins now. The cool, wet weather has let mildew and disease set in, leading to slim pickings for this year's pumpkin harvest. Prices are expected to be about the same as last year. And some lawmakers believe some professors taught liberal politics in class, and that students who disagree are afraid to speak out. Their solution, an academic Bill of Rights. U.S. Representative Walter Jones, a Republican from North Carolina, has co-sponsored the bill to help eliminate what he feels is partisan politics in the classroom. Carolina senior Joe Jones, an intern in Representative Jones's office, says a Bill of Rights for colleges and universities is the only way students will be allowed to express their opinions freely.
The hope of the bill, and my hope that is parallel with it, is that as a student at Carolina or as a student at any university in the United States, that student would come to their university experience with an opportunity to feel very comfortable in whatever views they may take, whether they're conservative or they're liberal, and to have an opportunity to critically think about what they believe.
The bill could be submitted for consideration by the end of this week, but it won't be heard in committee until the House reconvenes early next year.
With the November 4th election right around the corner, students are encouraged to get out and vote. In an effort to boost voter awareness, Student Government and the Daily Tar Heel invited town council candidates to speak at a forum Tuesday night. 11 of the 12 candidates met in Murphy Hall to answer questions from both the DTH and the audience. Candidates debated many issues, focusing on the relationship between the university and the town of Chapel Hill and the role students play in the council's decision-making. Also on the ballot Tuesday are 5 bonds, totaling almost $20 million. $5.6 million could go to improving streets and sidewalks. Proposed projects include pedestrian crosswalk signals, better street signs, and more sidewalks. The town could get more public parks and recreation facilities, costing $5 million. More than $16 million could be set aside for improving the Chapel Hill Public Library. Patrons could get more internet access, increased seating, and more space. $2 million could buy land that would be kept as open space within the town. The last bond, costing $500,000, would go to improve the energy efficiency of public buildings.
Voters in Chapel Hill weren't given an option about a project costing more than $41 million. The Town Operations Center, expected to be one of the town's most expensive buildings, will house Chapel Hill Transit and the Public Works Department. The town council agreed to spend more than $20 million in certificates of appreciation, a form of financing that doesn't require voter approval. The rest of the money is expected to come from federal grants.
If you're registered in Orange County and want to vote early, you can, but very few people are taking advantage of this opportunity. The visitor center at Moorhead Planetarium is basically empty. In a week and a half, less than 150 voters have come to the center to cast their ballots. Election officials are trying to make it as easy as possible. Jeanette Tolley has some theories about why the early voting opportunity isn't attracting more people.
Or if it was a primary trying to select who's going to be president, we would have 4 times more people than we have in an off election. But a lot of people, frankly, I'm disappointed at the number of people that have not come in, both students and township. But I'm not sure how many of them even really know that it's going on.
This is the 3rd year that early voting has taken place at Moorhead Planetarium. You can vote there anytime until November 1st. The site is open from 9 to 4 every weekday.
And it's a shortcut across campus.
It makes advertising your campus event a lot easier.
But could these things get in trouble with your Carolinas Honor Court?
We'll tell you right after the break.
There is really only one boy. One girl. One tree. One forest. One deep, dancing ocean. One mountain calling. One handful of sand through our fingers. One endless sky overhead. And one simple way to care for it all. Please visit earthshare.org and learn how the world's leading environmental groups are working together under one name, EarthShare. One environment, one simple way to care for it.
Last basketball season, 5 UNC students ran onto the court waving signs protesting the war with Iraq. As this basketball season approaches, so does the result of their hearing. Liz Mason-Dees says the conflict is about free speech.
The reason that the district attorney is arguing that it wasn't free speech is because she says that we infringed on the spectators' free speech or First Amendment right to assemble because they were trying to assemble to watch the basketball game, and that we caused a disruption in the game. Our argument, of course, is that it was free speech. We caused a minimal disruption in the basketball game, and it is a public arena.
Liz receives her verdict Thursday along with Scott O'Day. Charges were dismissed against 2 others.
Got locks? Locks of hair, that is. This is the 2nd year of UNC's Locks of Love Share the Hair Day. No one ever said loss is easy. Emotions were high Wednesday in the pit as more than 50 students volunteered to have their hair chopped off. Freshman volunteer Ann Cosper shows us what was going on through her mind as she went through the process of losing her lovely locks.
I'm scared. I'm scared. Oh my God. That's fabulous. It's all gone. Oh my God. It's all gone.
10 ponytails of donated hair make 1 wig for a child who might never have their hair because of the disease alopecia. Normally, wigs cost upward of a few $1,000s. But the Locks of Love group makes getting a wig and their life back possible for these children. Hair is a semi-annual event, so if you're thinking about donating next year, you can start growing your hair out now.
Speaking of donating, do you have any unused cell phones lying around? Why not donate them to someone less fortunate? Amnesty International collected used or broken cell phones in the pit Tuesday and Wednesday. All donated cell phones will be given to people in domestic violence shelters. Amnesty International member Julia Martin says the phones go to people who really need them.
The cell phones are refurbished and then sold, and they benefit domestic violence shelters. And some of them are given to people in the shelter to help them have a life, like a helpline, if they ever need help once they leave the shelter.
All cell phone donations are tax deductible. The phones will be rebuilt before the shelters receive them. It's the heart of integrity at Carolina, and not everything you've heard about it is true. Carolina Week's Dana Hackett dispels myths surrounding the honor code.
I've heard that chalking on the sidewalks for any kind of promotion was an honor code violation. Also, walking across the grass was an honor code violation.
Sound familiar? According to Student Attorney General Jonathan Slane, there are lots of myths about the honor code.
I've even heard it extended to if you walk across the grass without the intent and purpose of sitting down on the quad, then that would be an honor code violation, and it's definitely not an honor code violation to walk across the grass.
Slane encourages students to relax in the quad, play frisbee, or take shortcuts to class. Another myth? It's against the honor code to write with chalk on sidewalks. CAA President Sherelle McMillan says 2 years ago he helped chalk the campus for a fever interest meeting.
The chair, his name was Lowy at the time, he received an email basically saying that if we didn't remove the chalk within a couple of hours, we're going to lose university recognition and possible honor court charges will be brought up against us.
But Slane says the honor court would issue a warning only if a person were to write something offensive or threatening to others.
Students download music daily from the internet. The honor code says you can't download copyrighted music, but other music is okay as long as it doesn't abuse the university network.
If students are misusing the university network by downloading so much music and so many movies that it's in fact slowing down the network for other students, that would be a misuse of the resources. Just stop and think before you do what action that you're going to do and say to yourself, how is this going to affect others? And if the answer is it's going to negatively affect others, just don't do it. It's pretty black and white in that way.
But feel free to walk on the grass or write with chalk on sidewalks. In Chapel Hill, I'm Dana Hackett, Carolina Week.
Plagiarism and cheating make up the majority of honor code violations.
Meredith Croak joins us now with the weather.
Monday and Tuesday were dreary and gray. Meredith, is it looking any better for us this weekend?
Well, the weather is definitely looking up for the next few days. We'll be nice and dry with a noticeable warm-up. Get out, it's time to get out and enjoy the spring-like weekend. I'll have more on your weekend weather after this break.
Hello, my name is Estelle Ward, and I'd like to speak to someone about my daughter Ruth's financial aid. Hello, yes, I'm Ruth Ward's mom, and I was hoping the university might reconsider. She got good grades. Hello, I'm Ruth Ward's mother, and I'd like to speak to someone about my daughter's financial aid.
So, that was the last time I went out with a Marilyn. Ay, ay, ay. It's not worth the pain, but Julio's different. Music, flowers, no why. My luck, he got hit by a bus.
Excuse me, have you taken an HIV test?
An HIV test? Are you kidding me? You know what gets me hot, Carlos? Oh, baby, baby, I don't know what to say anymore.
Hi, welcome back to Carolina Week. Well, some parts of North Carolina received up to an inch of rain on Tuesday night, but a clearing trend for the weekend as a cold front moved through. Now, the remnants of this cold front you can see on the satellite image is way offshore, so not affecting our area anymore, but you can see cloud coverage is still located over the northern New England states. Now, as we take a look, there's not too much else going on the satellite map, but let's take a look at the forecast map, and this is where you can really see what's actually going on. You can see this cold front has pushed through the area, and that's what brought us the heavy rain Tuesday night, and we had a lot of rain there, but now we have a clearing trend as this high pressure system is building in. And what's actually happening is a ridge is forming out over the western states, and that's going to bring colder temperatures to that region. But as for us, with this ridge, we're going to see a high pressure system, sunny skies, and it's just going to be a beautiful weekend out due to this. The warm Gulf air is going to be ushered in with this high pressure system, so looks like a very nice weekend coming up. So as you can see also, there's actually some snow showers over the northern states, so it is getting towards winter in some spots of the country, but for us, beautiful weekend. So as we take a look at your weekend forecast, you can see on Friday, we're going to have 73 degrees, partly sunny skies, So a very nice day, get out, start an early weekend. Saturday, 75 degrees, partly sunny skies again. Sunday, there's a chance of a few more clouds on Sunday as there's a warm front that's shifting slightly close to our region, but we shouldn't have to worry about too much. No showers in the forecast, so it seems like it should be a pretty good weekend. Monday should get up to 74 again, and into next week, it looks like it's going to be warm temperatures, above normal temperatures. These temperatures are about 10 degrees above your average normal temperature, so way above average, and it just looks like a great time to get out. You can see your lows, 48 to 50s, upper 50s for the low on Sunday night, so it's looking great. Let's take a look at your beach forecast. If you want to take one last weekend at the beach, 75 degrees on Saturday and 76 degrees on Sunday. So a great day to go out to the beach one last time before the fall weather kicks in. Lows only in the mid-50s, so it would be very nice. Now, if you want to take a ride out to the mountains, you can see your lows will be slightly cooler, your highs will be slightly cooler, 65 on Saturday and 66 on Sunday. There should be some more clouds over the mountains on Sunday, but nothing to worry about again. No rain showers in the forecast, and the lows will be in the mid-40s. So now let's take a look at your fall foliage forecast. If you are taking a drive out to the mountains, you can see that your peak, it'll be a peak time for foliage, and if you're in the Triad, that's a near peak, and the Piedmont is just some patchy foliage. So now let's take a look at your distribution forecast. UNC men's basketball tickets, 7 a.m. if you're getting outside, partly sunny skies, 67 degrees. So.
Thanks, Meredith.
Luke, fall sports are coming to an end. Can you tell us how our teams are doing?
Well, I have some good stories to tell and some not so great ones. After another tough loss last weekend, Carolina football will travel to Maryland, trying to avoid losing to the Terps for the third year in a row. Also, Roy talks with students about his goals for the season. More when Carolina Week returns.
When you shop in Orange County, your money comes back to you.
Thank you for shopping Orange.
So shop Orange and see what a difference you can make.
Listen to smoke before you give it a try. Only you. Don't play with matches. Don't play with fire. Cause there's nothing very funny about freak nothing very nice on a homeless mind. So if a gorgeous force is what you desire, don't play with matches. Don't play with fire. Only you can prevent wildfires. Fire.
Welcome to Carolina Week Sports. I'm Luke Notestein. Coach Anson Dorrance and his Lady Tar Heels have done it again. Was there ever any doubt? The women's soccer team clinched its third straight ACC championship Sunday by beating Virginia in Charlottesville. With the regular season almost over, the top-ranked Tar Heels are the only unbeaten and untied team in the country at 17-0. And with the return of star defender Kat Reddick from the World Cup team, the Heels look poised for yet another run at the NCAA championship. Carolina will complete its regular season schedule at Fetzer Field on Halloween night against Florida State. After last weekend's bowl hopes were spoiled in Death Valley, John Bunting's squad is looking to play spoiler in their next 3 ACC opponents. Alex Hurst has the story.
The Tar Heels are coming off 2 difficult losses that were decided by an average of 5 points. With their bowl hopes spoiled, the Heels are trying to give it their best and win their last 4 games. Coach Bunting is ready to play and confident about UNC's chances to compete with Maryland.
We're getting an opportunity to compete, to play, to get better, to win, and that's all you can ask for.
By playing to win in their final 4 games, the Heels can be playing spoiler to some ACC teams still with a chance for a bowl bid, including Maryland. Freshman tailback Ronnie McGill is excited to be able to play that role.
We know that we're not going to a bowl game, but if we can cause a little bit of problems in the league, then we'll love it.
Jeb Terry thinks these 4 games are winnable and says that it's important to finish strong.
We have 4 opportunities to win games and, to salvage some of the season. And
we don't want to squander those opportunities. Let them slip by because there's no point in giving up now.
The Heels would love to play spoiler and in the process start building for next season. In Chapel Hill, I'm Alex Hurst, Carolina Week Sports.
UNC plays the Terps at noon on Saturday at Byrd Stadium in College Park, Maryland. If you think college football is confusing with the BCS and the bowl system, you're not alone. Even the experts don't agree about many of the problems facing the biggest moneymaker in the NCAA. Experts about UNC and NCAA sports met Monday night in Carroll Hall to tackle some controversial subjects surrounding the welfare of college football. UNC Athletics Director Dick Bedour, former Chancellor William Friday, and former Division I football player Corey Holliday were among the panelists fielding questions from UNC students. Some of the topics covered included practice times for players, university image, the number of scholarships allowed per team, and the overall welfare of student athletes. Professor John Sweeney led the student-run event and was pleased with the outcome.
The session went really well. I think they engaged. There were good questions that the students came up with that created some real interesting back and forth.
There's no rest for the weary Carolina volleyball team. After back-to-back ACC road matches, the Tar Heels quickly turn around to face NC State on Tuesday. The good news? The Heels have dominated the Wolfpack in 13 straight matchups. Carolina starts out slow, but the Heels get a boost from 5'1" Jamie Mitchell. She gives the Tar Heels a spark, the need with some big serves. Carolina's big guns follow Mitchell's lead. Danny Nienhuis does her best Emerald impression, bam. Aletha Green takes care of the defensive end with one of her 8 blocks on the night. The Wolfpack tries to respond, but Carolina says no soup. Tar Heels win easily 3-1. Coach Joe Segula says he loves Jamie Mitchell's effort.
Jamie not only with some key touches on defense, but her serving was outstanding. Really kept them off guard. And she adds a lot of energy. She's one of the key spark plugs for us when she comes in the court. The crowd loves her. We love her. The team responds to her energy on the court.
Carolina's basketball season begins on November 22nd, but that doesn't mean we can't go ahead and compare Roy's boys to the rest of the ACC. On Sunday, the media picked the Tar Heels to finish second in the ACC in Coach Roy Williams' inaugural season. The Tar Heels received 1 vote to finish first, but of course, 53 of the first 55 first-place votes went to Duke. Raymond Felton was selected as the preseason ACC Player of the Year, garnering 29 of 55 votes. Here's how the rest of the conference looked and the votes they received. Notably, Wake Forest was 3rd and NC State was 4th. The annual Blue and White scrimmage starts at 2 on Sunday afternoon at the Smith Center. Admission is free for students and $10 for the public. It wasn't exactly midnight at the Dean Dome, but Carolina students got a special treat Monday night when men's basketball coach Roy Williams spoke in Hamilton Hall. Williams shared memories from his time as a Carolina student and as a basketball coach. Coach Williams returns to basketball duty Sunday afternoon at 2 p.m. for the Blue and White exhibition game at the Dean Smith Center. Well, guys, don't forget to get your basketball bracelets. Thursday is the last day to get a bracelet, and you have to go to Keenan, Gate 8 from 8 to 5.
And Luke, what time is line check on Saturday?
Well, that might mess with our health a little bit. We have to be there at 7 a.m. on Saturday.
Ouch, that's going to be a hard night and an early morning. Thanks, Luke.
And Friday's the big night on Franklin.
It's not for a ball, and it's certainly not for a formal.
What are these kids dressing up for? More when we come back.
It's commonly found in the transverse segment of the colon with vascular congestion and smooth surface. Typically, the biopsy proved to be a tubulovillous adenoma.
It's a polyp! Why doesn't he just come right out and say it? It's a polyp.
Sir, do you mind?
Look at your textbook. Could I see that pointer?
We got one.
Stopping colon cancer is simple. Get the polyp early and stop colon cancer before it even starts.
Wait.
Just get the test.
I need the credits.
Get the polyp.
Attica! Oh, shut up!
Get the cure.
If you have a story idea, contact Carolina Week at 843-8292. You can also visit us online at carolinaweek.org. If you have questions about this program, write Carolina Week at Campus Box 3365, UNCCH, Chapel Hill, North Carolina, 27599.
Halloween is for trick-or-treating, getting dressed up, and learning something?
As video journalist Chris Knapp shows us, that's the case at Moorhead Planetarium.
Greetings, Earthlings.
Basically, the goal is to give kids something else to do that's not just spooky. It's also a little bit of education. They do learn a little bit. The first room that they go into is supposed to be the past, and what's in there is there are three scientists: Madame Curie, Galileo Galilei, and Sir Isaac Newton. But each scientist tells what their main goal was, and they kind of bicker about who's more important. This is the most fun I've had all semester, is doing this, and like getting to act a little crazy with the kids. So I want everybody to crowd around me, and I want you to chant with me and say pass, pass, pass. Science can be pretty creepy, and it can also be a lot of fun. So there's some activities that they do outside. They learn how to make bubble rockets and paper airplanes, and they get really into it. Any kind of science that they get to do on their own, they find really entertaining, and they really, it's like they really get interested in science for a change, and I think there's not enough of that.
Earthlings, it would have been wiser to be more cooperative. Now it's too late. Where's my ketchup?
It's the question everyone's asking this week. What are you going to be for Halloween?
Carolina Week's Allison Sossaman went out in search of some of the hottest costume ideas this year.
Franklin Street is sure to be filled with all kinds of goblins and ghouls this Friday. Many Carolina students are looking for that perfect ensemble that will make them stand out in the crowd. Party City in Durham has a huge selection of wigs, masks, and crazy characters, but you'd better shop early, because many popular items, like the super mullet, the Spartan cheer uniforms, and characters from the hit movie Chicago, are already sold out. UNC Chapel Hill sophomore Matt Todd says his friends have come up with some interesting ideas.
A SpongeBob, I think that's pretty popular. It's sold out over here. And I have one being a Lego piece, and some group of friends being 3 blind mice.
Don't get discouraged if it was a SpongeBob costume you were hoping for. You can find plenty left here at the Halloween Zone. That's where Carolina Junior Amal Sade is looking for her Franklin Street frock. Her friends also have some fresh costume ideas.
My roommate's being one of the Josie and the Pussycats, and a friend of mine's being Catwoman. Heard of it. Some friends of mine being Ninja Turtles, like April and that whole thing.
I'm not sure what I'm being for Halloween this year, and I have a feeling some other Chapel Hill students are in the same predicament.
I always forget that it's coming until like the week before, and then I'm like, oh, I should find a costume.
No matter what students decide to dress up as this Friday, as the past few years show, Franklin Street festivities are guaranteed to be a rollicking good time. In Chapel Hill, I'm Allison Sossaman, Carolina Week.
I'm with them. Well, that looks like fun. Meredith Croak is back to join us to tell us more about the weekend weather and what it's going to be like on Franklin Street for Halloween.
Well, it is going to be very nice night on Franklin Street on Friday night. Temperatures should be in the 70s and only getting down into the mid-50s. So it's going to be a very nice time to get out and enjoy this nice weekend.
And if you're going to buy a costume this year, be prepared to dish out some dough.
Some costumes like the sumo wrestler can cost as much as $45. Andrea, do you think that Halloween costumes are worth $45?
Courtney, I mean, $45, that seems pretty steep, and it definitely has to depend on the costume. What are you going as this year?
Well, I've been thinking about it, and thought about it for a really long time, and I've decided that I want to be someone really handsome, really famous, that everyone knows on campus and that everyone wants to be. So I thought about Brad Pitt, but I decided to go with Luke Notestein, the sports anchor.
Luke Notestein, what a great one, what a great one. Well, if you're going as Luke, then I have a lot more looking to do before Friday.
Well, thanks for joining us for this edition of Carolina Week. Have a safe and spooky Halloween.
Good night.